Alright guys, today we're going to do a versus video with the VEYMAX Roadster X4 and the WOWGO 3. These are two of my favorite electric boards. I've had the WOWGO for many years. The VEYMAX I recently got and I've been just blown away by it. In this price point, these are two great boards. So the price breakdown, very similar. The VEYMAX is $429. You can use my code for an additional 5% off. And the WOWGO 3 is $399, but as of right now, it's not available. You could get the Pioneer version, which is $529, or you could get this WOWGO 3E, which is $439, but this one is belt-driven. They both have the same specs as far as the battery capacity, range, and speed, all three of these boards. So I really wanted to put the WOWGO 3 up against this. You can still get the WOWGO 3, other places like eBay and, stuff like that. Just on the official website, it's not being sold right now. The battery on both these are very nice. We have basically the same size battery, but I really like how VEYMAX puts theirs in this solid enclosure, but then also the battery itself is in a solid enclosure. The specs were on the screen, but both these boards, have roughly the same specs as far as the battery, but one big difference in the battery is the price. The VEYMAX, say you need to replace the battery, it's only $129 right now. And for a battery, that's pretty good. You could also get a case for it if you mess up the case or anything. But just the battery itself is $129. Much more affordable than a lot of other boards we look at. We'll take a look at the WOWGO here. Specs on the screen once again. But as you can see, this battery is just enclosed, in your thick tape type stuff, your shrink wrap or electrical tape mumbo jumbo. It's $209. So we're looking at a $40 difference for the same size battery. And it's also not in a nice case. Or you could get a larger battery for $259. So, $40 more for the standard than if you went with the VEYMAX. The decks here, this is where we get a little interesting. On the VEYMAX, we have a maple and fiberglass, so it's a little stiffer, but it still has a nice flex to it. We are really flexible here. Sometimes the battery pack will actually hit the ground on my WOWGO and stuff. That's how flexible the board is. The VEYMAX sits a little higher because it's got the larger jelly wheels, but, not too much higher. The VEYMAX also has a concave where the WOWGO is totally flat. And because it is bamboo, it's nice and flexible, but as you can see over time, you might get these vertical pressure cracks. Here we're going to take a look at the wheels. Now here is where you get a big difference in the wheels. We got your awesome jelly wheels that come stock on the VEYMAX, while we just have your standard urethane wheels here on the WOWGO. The jelly wheels are just absolutely incredible. They work on all different surfaces. While these ones, you can replace these little urethane sleeves, and it's only like $30 when you need to replace these, but I've had to replace these 3 different times. So these do wear out, and they are just standard urethane, so you're not going to be using these on any other real surfaces. You can get their cloud wheels for $170. Or you can get these ones from VEYMAX for $109. They're jelly wheels, but these come already on the board. And as you can see here, they work great on other terrain. The urethane, you're not going to want to take those off asphalt, stuff like that. Well, here, if you need to go in grass a little bit or gravel, the board can actually handle it with the cloud wheels or jelly wheels as come equipped on the VEYMAX. And you're not having to pay $170 extra. They come equipped on the board. You rip it up in the grass, absolutely no problem. Big difference. As far as the wheels are concerned, big win for VEYMAX in that category. Next, we are going to take a look at the trucks. On the VEYMAX, we have the Conjure trucks, their name brand that they make, and they're very nice, solid construction. They come set up for beginners, so you're going to want to loosen the bushing nut with your T-tool, give you better carvability. You'll be able to turn a little more. If you're a new rider, probably keep them a little tighter. But as you can see, when I just loosen them up a little bit, I can carve in and out of all this, no problem whatsoever. They feel really good. On the WOWGO, we have actually the Paris trucks, which is a name brand. So if that means anything to you, but since this was the last board that had the Paris trucks. Since then, they've switched to just their name brand, their WOWGO brand trucks. So kind of a wash there depending on what you get, but I like them both. The remotes now, we have a good remote on both. I really like how the VEYMAX has this big screen where I got all the different things. I can see my speed really good. I got my forward, backwards. I get a lot of the same features on the WOWGO. The WOWGO is just one button, so if you need to select anything, it's all just one button, and they both have the throttles about the same. I do like the rubberized feel of the WOWGO, though, I must say.
On the two buttons on the VEYMAX, the left one is mostly, turn it on and off, pair it with the board and stuff. And then the one on the right switches, a lot of your features. Like here, if I click it once, it'll go, to the different speed modes. There is actually 4 different speed modes and 4 different brake modes on the VEYMAX. The WOWGO, we have 4 different speed modes, but only 1 brake mode. The thing I don't like about it, though, is how I gotta look at it. Like here on the VEYMAX, everything's upright, how you want to look at it. When you're riding, you're holding it like this, you gotta turn it like that to see what it says. And, you get used to it, but it's just a little awkward to have to look at it, like that. I really like how the screen is in the proper orientation on the VEYMAX. And here you can see there's only 1 button, so it's just a series of clicking it 2 times in, 3 times in, etc. And sometimes you forget how many times you need to click things in, and it takes a minute. Here, the VEYMAX is much more simple. The profile, very similar. The WOWGO is slightly bigger. I like the rubberized feel, but I do really like how everything is set up on the VEYMAX. It's a little more, I don't know, it's just nicer and organized better, easier to see what you're doing. But the real factor is when it comes down to the price of these, if you have to replace them. If I need to replace this one, the VEYMAX, it's only $35. That's not bad at all. The WOWGO, double, $70. You break the remote, drop it, whatever, $70.
We actually get some extras that come free with the VEYMAX, like all these stickers, a T-tool, extra hardware, and these awesome lights. And they have different light modes, but I mean, these things are just absolutely awesome. With the WOWGO, the only extra you're getting is a tool. And here we got bash guards. As you can see, without the WOWGO, it's all beat to crap and everything. Overall, I think the value you're getting from the VEYMAX really cannot be beat. The WOWGO is really nice if you're somebody that you really like that bamboo feel of the deck. But me personally, I think it's too flexible where, like, since I have the jelly wheels on the VEYMAX, I don't really need a really flexible board to absorb all that impact. With the WOWGO, the wheels are just urethane, so you really need a flexible board to absorb the impact. Otherwise, you'll have foot fatigue, and it just vibrates like crazy. Where even though the board isn't as flexible on the VEYMAX, it's a little bit wider, it's concaved, and the combination with the jelly wheels just makes it absorb impacts so much better. It's very fun to ride. Both these boards, I'm getting about the same range, same top speed, and all that. It's basically a wash. So it's going to come down to the little things. If something breaks, how cheap it is to fix it. If how reliable the board is, and just like when can I use it? If there's any rain at all, I can't take the WOWGO out because it's just a death trap if there's any moisture or anything. Where the nice jelly wheels on the VEYMAX can really handle a lot. So that's really my 2 cents. Both these boards, great, absolutely great options, but I got to give an edge to the VEYMAX. And I do have a code. You can get an additional 5% off. We will put that on the screen. But thank you guys so much for watching, and no matter what board you decide to get, just get out there, have some fun, and enjoy life. So thank you guys for watching. Smash that like button. Links will be down below, and I'll see you later.